I thought I was planning the perfect surprise. Instead, I discovered the perfect lie. My name is David, and this is the story of how trying to celebrate 15 years of marriage led me to uncover 15 months of betrayal. If you've ever wondered what it feels like to have your entire world crumble in the span of a single afternoon, stick around. This one's going to hurt. It was March 15th, exactly 2 weeks before our anniversary. Sarah had always said our wedding day was the happiest of her life, and I wanted to recreate that magic. I'd spent months secretly coordinating with her sister Emma to plan the surprise party of a lifetime. Same venue where we got married, same florist, even tracked down our original wedding cake designer who'd moved to Portland. The plan was flawless. Sarah thought I'd forgotten our anniversary entirely. I'd been playing the distracted husband for weeks, making her think work was consuming me. Every eye roll, every disappointed sigh when I forgot to make dinner reservations, it was all part of the act. She had no idea that 50 of our closest friends and family were going to surprise her in 12 days. That's when everything went sideways. I was at the venue that Tuesday afternoon, finalizing seating arrangements with the coordinator when my phone buzzed. Text from Sarah, client emergency in Chicago. Flying out tonight, back Thursday. Love you. Perfect, I thought. More time to nail down the final details without worrying about her walking in on me. I called Emma to update her, but it went straight to voicemail. Figured I'd try the hotel Sarah always stayed at in Chicago, the Palmer House. Maybe surprise her with room service or flowers. I'm sorry, sir, we don't have a Sarah Mitchell checked in, the desk clerk said. Sarah Mitchell was her maiden name, the one she used for work travel. Always had. Could you check Sarah Chin? I tried her married name, thinking maybe she'd switched. No sir, no Sarah Chin either. Strange. Maybe she was staying somewhere different this time. I called her assistant Monica. Oh, hi Mr. Chin. Sarah's client meeting got moved to next week. She's actually working from home today, said she had some personal stuff to handle. The venue coordinator was still talking, pointing to centerpiece options, but her voice faded into white noise. Sarah had lied about traveling. She was somewhere in town, doing something she didn't want me to know about. Keep it together, David. There's probably a simple explanation. But that small voice in the back of my head, the one I'd been ignoring for months, started getting louder. I drove home, expecting to find her car in the driveway, ready to hear about the change of plans. The garage was empty. I called her cell. Hey babe, about to board my flight. Can't really talk. I could hear traffic in the background. Car traffic. Not airport sounds. Safe travels, I managed. Love you. Love you too. The line went dead, and something inside me died with it. If this story is hitting close to home, or if you want to see how this unfolds, hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you're going to want to see where this goes. I sat in my kitchen for 2 hours, staring at my phone. 15 years of marriage, and my wife was lying to me about her whereabouts. Not about surprise planning or gift shopping, about being in a completely different state. The rational part of my brain cycled through innocent explanations. Maybe she was planning her own surprise. Maybe she was shopping for my gift and didn't want me to know. Maybe the work thing was confidential and she couldn't tell me the real location. But I'd been married long enough to know the difference between intuition and paranoia. This felt like the latter. I opened our shared photo stream, looking for recent pictures, anything that might give me a clue. Sarah wasn't much of a photographer, but she occasionally snapped random shots. Most recent was from 3 days ago, her coffee cup at what looked like a cafe I didn't recognize. I reverse-searched the image. The metadata had been stripped, but I could make out part of a street sign in the reflection of the window behind her. Northwood Avenue. There was only one Northwood Avenue in our city. It was across town, in a neighborhood we never went to. Expensive area, lots of high-end condos and boutique restaurants. I drove there. I don't know what I expected to find. Sarah's car parked outside some innocent explanation, probably. A medical appointment she was embarrassed about. A surprise party planning location. A therapy session she hadn't told me about. What I found was her car in the parking garage of Meridian Towers, one of the most exclusive residential buildings in the city. My hands were shaking as I parked 3 spaces away. I called her again. David? I thought you were at work. My flight's delayed. I'm still at the gate. Which gate? B12. Why? No reason. Just wanted to hear your voice. Through my windshield, I could see her car clearly. Illinois plates, the small dent on the passenger side from when she'd backed into our mailbox last year. The coexist bumper sticker she'd bought during her brief Buddhist phase. She wasn't at any airport. She was 50 feet away from me, lying with the kind of ease that comes from practice. I hung up and called Emma. David? What's wrong? You sound weird. Emma, I need you to be completely honest with me. Has Sarah said anything to you about our marriage? About being unhappy, or anything? Long pause. Too long. David. Emma, please. Just tell me. She mentioned she's been feeling disconnected from you lately. Said you guys haven't been communicating well. But David, she loves you. Whatever's going on. How long has she been feeling this way? I don't know, maybe 6 months? David, you're scaring me. What's happening? 6 months. The same time frame when Sarah started working late more often. When she joined that new gym across town. When she started taking those mysterious client calls that required privacy. I have to go, Emma. Don't tell Sarah we talked. I sat in that parking garage for 3 hours. At 4:47 p.m., the elevator opened and Sarah walked out with someone I'd never seen before. Tall guy, probably mid-40s, expensive suit. They weren't touching, but there was an intimacy in how they walked together. How he held the door. How she smiled at him. I followed them to a restaurant 2 blocks away. Watched through the window as they sat across from each other, leaning in close, her hand covering his on the table. She was wearing the emerald earrings I'd bought her for Christmas, the ones she said were too fancy for every day. Apparently not too fancy for him. I took pictures. Not for any grand plan, I just needed proof that this was really happening. That my wife of 15 years was having lunch with another man while lying to me about being in Chicago. They talked for an hour. He paid. They walked back to the parking garage together, and I watched her car leave first, then his. I sat there until the sun went down, trying to process what I'd seen. At 8:30 p.m., Sarah called. Hey babe, just landed. Grabbing dinner at the hotel, then probably going to bed early. Long day tomorrow. Okay. Love you. Love you too. The easiest lies are the ones wrapped in routine affection. I drove home and sat in our living room, surrounded by anniversary party planning materials I'd hidden behind the couch. Guest lists, menu options, timeline schedules. Evidence of how hard I'd been working to make her happy while she was busy, making me a fool. My phone buzzed. Text from the florist. Confirmed delivery of white roses to Meridian Towers for Thursday, 2 p.m. Is this still the surprise location? I stared at that message for a long time. She hadn't just lied about Chicago. She'd been planning to see him again, at his place, while I was finalizing flowers for our anniversary. That's when I stopped trying to find innocent explanations. Over the next week, I became someone I didn't recognize. Someone who checked phone records and credit card statements. Someone who drove by Meridian Towers every day, cataloging when her car was there. Someone who pretended everything was normal while documenting every lie. Thursday, client dinner ran late, staying another night. Her car was at Meridian Towers from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday, girls' spa day with Emma. Emma was at her son's soccer tournament. Sarah was at Meridian Towers. Monday, grocery shopping after work. No groceries appeared. Her car was at Meridian Towers. Each lie felt like a small death. But I kept planning the party, kept playing the oblivious husband, because I needed to understand the scope of this before I decided what to do about it. I hired a private investigator. Not for revenge, for clarity. I needed to know if this was an emotional affair that could be fixed or something deeper that couldn't. His name was Marcus Webb, 15 years in corporate security, specialized in marital investigations. I met him at a coffee shop downtown, handed him a check for $5,000, and asked him to find out everything about the man my wife was seeing. I don't judge, Mr. Chin, he said. I just gather facts. But I need you to be prepared for any outcome. Sometimes the truth is worse than the suspicions. I need to know. Give me a week. Marcus called me 6 days later. We need to meet. Bring a strong drink and a lawyer's number. His name was Robert Torino. Divorced, 2 kids he barely saw, worked in commercial real estate. That wasn't the devastating part. The devastating part was the timeline. Your wife's been seeing him for 14 months, Marcus said, sliding a folder across the table. It started 2 weeks after your 14th anniversary. 14 months. Not 6 months of feeling disconnected like Emma thought. 14 months of calculated deception. There's more, Marcus continued. He's not her first affair. The folder contained photographs, credit card records, hotel receipts going back 3 years. Different men, different locations, but the same pattern. The same lies about work trips and client meetings. How many? I asked. That I can prove? For different men over the past 3 years. There might be more. I stared at the evidence of my wife's secret life spread across the table. Receipts from restaurants I'd never been to. Photos of her leaving hotels with men I'd never met. Credit card charges for lingerie I'd never seen her wear. Mr. Chin, I have to ask, did you want me to keep digging, or is this enough? It was more than enough. It was a complete dismantling of everything I thought I knew about my life. There's one more thing, Marcus said gently. Robert Torino is married too. His wife has no idea. I spent that night sitting in my home office, staring at our wedding photo on the desk. Sarah in her white dress, radiant with happiness, promising to love and honor me for better or worse. I wondered if she was already planning her exit strategy even then, or if the woman in that photo was real and had simply ceased to exist somewhere along the way. The anniversary party was in 4 days. 50 people expecting to celebrate our perfect marriage. A photographer hired to capture our love story. A cake designed to replicate our wedding cake, symbolizing how our love had stood the test of time. I could cancel everything, make excuses, eat the deposits, pretend I'd never discovered any of this. Or I could turn the party into something else entirely. The idea came to me slowly, then all at once. I wouldn't humiliate Sarah publicly, I'm not that person. But I could use the party as a deadline. A moment of reckoning where she had to choose between her double life and our marriage. I called Marcus. I need one more favor, I said. Can you get me Robert Torino's wife's contact information? Mr. Chin, I strongly advise against. I'm not planning anything crazy. I just think she deserves to know the truth before I confront my wife. What are you going to do? Give Sarah a chance to be honest. And if she can't take it, then we're done. I met Janet Torino at a coffee shop on Wednesday morning. She was a small woman with kind eyes who clearly loved her husband despite his flaws. Telling her about the affair was one of the hardest conversations I've ever had. I'm sorry, I said after showing her the evidence. I thought you should know. She stared at the photographs for a long time, tears streaming down her face. I suspected, she whispered. He's been so distant lately. Working late, mysterious phone calls. I kept telling myself I was being paranoid. What will you do? I don't know. We have 2 kids. But I can't pretend I don't know this now. I understand. What about you? What are you going to do about your wife? I'm going to give her one last chance to tell me the truth. Thursday night, Sarah came home with flowers. For being such a patient husband while I've been traveling so much, she said, kissing me on the cheek. I know I've been distracted lately. They're beautiful, I said. Just like you. She smiled and went upstairs to shower. I heard her on the phone through the bathroom door, voice low and intimate. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, she said. David's planning some work thing, so I'll be free most of the day. Tomorrow was our anniversary. The day of the party she didn't know about. The day she was planning to spend with Robert while I was supposedly at a work thing. That night, lying in bed next to her, I made my decision. Friday morning, our anniversary day, I woke up early and made Sarah her favorite breakfast. Pancakes with fresh berries, the kind she'd loved when we were dating. What's the occasion? She asked, surprised. It's our anniversary, I said simply. Oh, right. 15 years. I can't believe I almost forgot. She hadn't forgotten. She'd just been hoping I had. Sarah, can I ask you something? Of course. Are you happy? In our marriage, I mean. She paused, coffee cup halfway to her lips. That's a heavy question for 7 a.m., David. I've been thinking about us lately. About our future. I want to make sure we're both getting what we need. I'm happy, she said, but her eyes didn't meet mine. Why? Are you not happy? I love you, I said. I've loved you for 17 years, married to you for 15. You're the most important person in my life. I love you too, David. If there was anything wrong, anything at all, you'd tell me, right? We could work through it together. For a moment, I thought she might crack. There was something in her expression, a flicker of guilt or maybe regret. Of course, she said finally. We can work through anything. Good. Because I have a surprise for you tonight. A surprise? Trust me. You're going to love it. At 6 p.m., I texted Sarah. Get dressed up? Something nice. I'll pick you up at 7. I arrived at our house in a hired car wearing my best suit. Sarah looked beautiful in a black dress I'd never seen before. Probably bought it for Robert. Where are we going? She asked as we drove toward the venue. You'll see. When we pulled up to Riverside Manor, the same place we'd gotten married, her face went white. David, what is this? Our anniversary party, I said simply. I wanted to surprise you. The look in her eyes wasn't joy or gratitude. It was panic. I'm not feeling well, she said. Maybe we should reschedule. We can't reschedule, Sarah. Everyone's already here. I helped her out of the car and walked her to the entrance. Through the glass doors, she could see 50 people waiting inside. Our friends, our family, all the people who loved us and believed in our marriage. David, I can't do this tonight. Why not? I'm not ready for this. Not ready to celebrate our marriage? She was trembling now, and I felt a twisted satisfaction in watching her squirm. Sarah, there's something I need to tell you before we go in there. What? I know about Robert. The blood drained from her face completely. I know about David Kumar from 2 years ago. I know about Michael Santos from last year. I know about all of them. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. I know you've been lying to me for years. I know our entire marriage has been a performance for you while you lived a completely different life behind my back. David, I can explain. Can you? Because I've been trying to understand for weeks. I've been trying to figure out how the woman I married could lie to my face every single day for years. Please, can we talk about this at home? No, Sarah. We're going to talk about it right here, right now. Because in about 30 seconds, we're going to walk through those doors and face everyone who believes in us. Everyone who thinks we have a real marriage. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. Are you sorry you did it, or sorry you got caught? She couldn't answer. Here's what's going to happen, I said. We're going to go inside. We're going to smile and accept congratulations from our friends and family. We're going to cut the cake and dance to our wedding song. And tomorrow morning, I'm filing for divorce. David, please. Or you can walk away right now. Get back in the car, drive home, pack your things, and leave. I'll go inside and tell everyone you got food poisoning. Save us both the humiliation. She stood there for a long moment, tears streaming down her face. I never meant for it to happen this way, she said. But you meant for it to happen. She nodded slowly. Then go. Sarah walked back to the car, leaving me standing alone outside the venue where we'd promised to love each other forever. I went inside and told our friends and family that Sarah had gotten suddenly ill. I made excuses, sent everyone home with takeaway boxes of cake, and thanked them all for coming to celebrate our marriage. Emma stayed to help me clean up. David, what really happened? Sarah's been having affairs. Multiple affairs. For years. Emma sat down heavily in one of the decorated chairs. I'm so sorry. I should have said something sooner. You knew. I suspected. But I didn't want to believe it. I kept hoping I was wrong. It's not your fault, Emma. None of this is your fault. Sarah moved out that weekend. She left a long letter trying to explain herself, but explanations don't undo betrayal. Reasons don't erase years of lies. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. Sarah tried to fight for alimony, claiming she'd sacrificed her career for our marriage. My lawyer pointed out that she'd been maintaining a very active social life during those supposed sacrifices. Robert Torino's wife filed for divorce 2 weeks after I told her about the affair. Sarah and Robert dated openly for about 3 months before that relationship imploded too. Turns out people who cheat with you will also cheat on you. It's been 2 years now. I live in a smaller house across town, closer to my office. I've started dating again, carefully, slowly, with full awareness of how easily people can deceive each other. Sometimes people ask if I regret how I handled it. If I wish I'd confronted Sarah privately instead of letting her humiliate herself at the party venue. The truth is, I gave her every opportunity to be honest. Every chance to save our marriage. She chose deception every single time. I didn't destroy our marriage. I just stopped pretending it still existed. The anniversary party decorations are still in my garage. 50 white roses, now dried and brittle. A custom cake topper with our names on it. Photographs of a love story that turned out to be fiction. I keep them as a reminder that sometimes the cruelest surprises are the ones we give ourselves. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories. Have you ever discovered a betrayal that changed everything? Share your experience in the comments below. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is tell our truth and let others know they're not alone. Thanks for listening to my story. See you in the next one.